We also have participants from Jamtani, Indonesia, and API, Indonesia. We have attendees from ASF Pakistan. Good afternoon. Of course, we have from Bangladesh. We have lots of friends from Bangladesh joining us here this afternoon. Who else? I saw Philippines Campil. Good afternoon. And VNFU. Yeah, they're here also. With us today. LFN is also here from Laos, our partners from Laos. Good afternoon. I hope, yeah, from Nepal. We also have our partners from Nepal already present here with us. Well, Sanasa also just entered the meeting room. Please, so I can acknowledge you, please rename. For those who needing translation, we have available translation channels for Bangladesh and Vietnam. Just click the interpretation button on your screen and go to the language that you want to listen to. Bangladesh for our Bangladesh colleagues and Vietnamese colleagues. Yeah, I hope I'm able to acknowledge all of you. Just before we start, may we request you to please turn on your camera so we can take a group photo first. Okay, we have 2 pages, so please maintain your smile for a few seconds. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, please smile. Another one, 1, 2, 3. Thank you, and yeah, I hope more of our colleagues and friends join us later also. But now we would like to already start with the program. And yes, thank you everyone for joining us, for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today. And this afternoon, we would like to take you to different countries in Asia and the Pacific through culinary. Sit back and enjoy. And now to officially start the program, I give the floor to my colleagues, Bernie, Leo, Junie, and John.
Distinguished guests, development partners, farmer organization representatives, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the awarding session of the Women Ensuring Food Security and Nutrition Forgotten Foods Cooking Contest.
As we celebrate International Women's Day, allow us to highlight the special role that women play as educators, food producers, innovators, and health advocates, especially in dealing with health and nutrition concerns of the family. Thus, we also recognize the role of women in promoting nutrition in their households by integrating native foods into local cuisines.
Right you are, Junie. It is truly an opportune time that the awarding of this cooking contest featuring forgotten foods coincides with the International Women's Day. Through this contest, we would like to showcase the rich biodiversity of Asia and the Pacific and promote the production and consumption of these nutritious yet forgotten native crops.
So, to formally open our program for today, let us welcome the President of AFA, a strong leader and advocate, Ms. Aggie Cedenes.
Mr. Guillaume Barrois, the representative of the European Commission, Mr. Jerry Pakchuran, the IFAD task manager, esteemed guests, development partners, and colleagues, good afternoon. And I would like to wish all of you happy International Women's Day. Today, we would like to talk about a subject that is close to our hearts and crucial for our well-being. It's food and nutrition. As a woman, we play a significant role in ensuring the health and nourishment of our families and communities. But too often, our contribution to the food system are overlooked and undervalued. Today's event celebrates women for their key role in ensuring their food and nutrition, as well as preserving indigenous food crops. This event also aims to raise awareness of indigenous food crops that are slowly being forgotten and to promote the production and consumption of these crops. Indigenous communities have long been the keepers of many of these food crops, some of which have been forgotten because modernity brought along fast food and many new food options that appeals more to the youth and many people. For example, in Mongolia, humul is a wild onion that grows in the southern part of the country. In the past, it is used in cooking instead of onion and garlic. However, it has been forgotten nowadays. By sharing about this food through this contest, we hope to share about Mongolia's food and culture, and also to show to our fellow Mongolians that we have this crop and we can use it since it is readily available in our environment. Both women and men have a vital role to play in preserving and promoting indigenous food crops. We can start by learning about the traditional foods of our ancestors and sharing that knowledge with our families and communities. We can also support local farmers who grow these crops and advocate for policies that protect and promote their cultivation. Furthermore, we must recognize the importance of good nutrition, not just for ourselves, but for the health of our families and communities. A diet rich in diverse, whole foods can prevent malnutrition, chronic disease, and improve mental health. As we celebrate International Women's Day, let us remember the role we play in nourishing our families and communities. Let us also commit to promoting and preserving indigenous food crops, improving access to healthy food, and educating ourselves and others about the benefits of the good nutrition. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward very nice videos of the indigenous and forgotten foods, and good luck with the competition.
Thank you, Agi. Thank you for reminding us of the importance of learning about the traditional foods of our ancestors and for sharing this knowledge, passing this knowledge with our families and communities. And this is indeed one of the objectives of this activity. And of course, as you mentioned, the importance of diverse diets for health. That's also one of our objectives for this contest, to promote the consumption of the many indigenous foods that are known to be really nutritious. And of course, thank you for sharing about Mongolia's food culture through the entries shared by Namak. And we are excited to share that with our guests here today. So now my colleagues are in the Asia Pacific Traditional Kitchen, ready to serve delectable and delicious meals. Take it away, John and Leo.
Welcome to the Asia Pacific Traditional Kitchen Restaurant, where we serve only native dishes from all over Asia and the Pacific. John, please take the order from our customers.
Ready to take your orders? But to help you choose, here are our recommendations.
We have a variety of dishes to choose from. We have delectable meat and vegetable dishes, and we have vegetarian options as well.
Yeah, and for today's menu, we have Bengali mung dal, Cambodian galangal, Philippine kurapdok.
We also have Laotian bamboo shoots, Vietnamese spinach sprouts, and Chinese mixed vegetables.
It all sounds nutritious, but Chef, can you tell us more about those dishes?
Great, John. Our suppliers come from Bangladesh, Cambodia, Philippines, Vietnam, Laos, and China. They all contributed their nutritious recipes of local forgotten foods. So watch these videos.
এই আগে চাল দিচ্ছি পরে ডাল দিচ্ছি তারপরে সবজি দিচ্ছি দিয়া তেল দিচ্ছি মরিচের গুঁড়া হলুদের গুঁড়া আদা জিরা রসুন বাটা সব দিলাম দিয়া হাত দিয়ে ভালোভাবে মিশাইয়া পরে পানি দিলাম পানি দিয়া পরে চুলার ভিতরে রাখলাম রাখিয়া পরে হেডে ডাইকে দিলাম ডাইকে খুব একটা গন্ধ বেরোবে তখন আবার ডাকনা গুছাই দেখা
Ngayon ang huling nilalagay ay
dahon
dahon
ng
ng
sibuyas.
sibuyas. So, wala na itong seasoning, wala itong Ajinomoto, walang MSG.
Walang inekay.
Okay.
Okay na. Kurap dog. Kaya may sapos na nga dahon. Okay na? Sarap.
Để tránh mất thời gian để trộn rau ta sẽ lấy 2 thìa đường, 2 thìa mắm và 2 thìa nước cốt chanh, thì khoảng 2 đến 3 tép tỏi tùy từng người thích ăn nhiều, và 2 tép tỏi. Ta sẽ quấy đều cho tan đường. Bây giờ ta sẽ bắt đầu trộn rau, rau đều ạ. Để trộn. Bây giờ khi mà rau đã ngấm gia vị rồi thì ta sẽ cho thêm, để ta trộn đều lại và ta trình bày ra. Và đây là món rau mầm.
Rồi hai nhóm lính trường học hai nhóm đặt to. Rồi ra sạch.
Đây, đạp trái cây. Cái này thì nó ban giám khảo gần tính toán những cái vé thì
Wow, those were so feeling.
Yes.
Just looking at the videos make me feel hungry.
Yeah, same with me. And now, while we are still savoring those viands, let us invite our partners from the European Union and the Food and Agriculture Organization, Mr. Guillaume Barrault and Pierre Ferron.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, the European Union is proud to support the Farmers' Organization for Asia. This support comes together with the IFAD, the Asian Farmers Association, in consortium with La Via Campesina and AgriCorps. This program covers 14 countries in the whole of Asia, while the previous program, that ended in 2020, supported 7 ASEAN member state countries. This proves the success of the format, able to reach so many farmers' organizations since 2015 and helping them, even in difficult times as we started with the pandemic. One of the goals of the program is to ensure land use rights and traditional farmer-based seed systems. In our view, this participates to the fight against malnutrition and malnourishment in Asia. According to the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization, around 381 million people in Asia and the Pacific were undernourished in 2019. Farmers' Organization plays a critical role by promoting sustainable agriculture practices that increase the availability of nutritious foods such as fruits, vegetables, protein-rich crops. Additionally, these organizations are increasing awareness about the importance of good nutrition and promote healthy eating habits in local community. Hence, by supporting farmers' organizations in Asia, we can help to improve nutrition outcomes and promote healthier, more resilient communities. Today is the occasion to celebrate one aspect of this goal, the deep knowledge each of the participants have of endemic plants in their region, their savor when prepared and their nutritional value. All this information is passed from generation to generation, to reach us. It is an important part of the world heritage. How better celebrating this than by preparing, cooking those traditional meals and making them known to all of us during this event? Wishing all of us a joyful moment and thanking the presenters for their work. It's only a shame that we could not taste the meals, but happy to be part of the judges' party. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everyone. First, thank you very much for inviting me to say a few words during this important event, an important day. I apologize, however, that I cannot be live with you today since I'm currently attending the Pacific Week of Agriculture and Forestry in Fiji. But I'm very glad to have been invited to review and judge the videos for the Forgotten Food Cooking Contest. These forgotten food, also referred to as neglected and underutilized species, NUS, are often overlooked by policymakers, researchers, and extension agents. Consequently, little resources are allocated for their promotion and development, hindering the capacities of farmers to access high-quality seeds and plant them on large areas. Over time, associated traditional knowledge is slowly disappearing. This Forgotten Food Cooking Contest is therefore a brilliant initiative. It not only contributes to raise awareness on many forgotten native or indigenous food crop and promotes the production of consumption of this crop, but also it helps recognizing the role of farming communities, in particular women farmers, as custodian of this indigenous crop and their biodiverse system. Lastly, it also recognizes the critical role of women in promoting nutrition in their household by integrating native food into local cuisine. So the different videos submitted to the contest by farmers group highlight the incredible diversity and richness of indigenous food crop and recipe, from the mountainous area of Nepal all the way to the Pacific island of Tonga. It was difficult to make a selection, since all videos have important messages to share, and the recipe are very appetizing. So these forgotten foods are crucial for their multiple environmental, economic, social, and nutritional benefits. They have the potential to address many of our current challenges and to contribute to combat hunger and malnutrition, respond to climate change, promote biodiversity, improve rural livelihood, and support healthier and more secure food systems. They are a key ally in our effort to transition toward nutrition-dense, climate resilience, economically viable agroecological farming system. Finally, in addition to the Global Manifesto on Forgotten Food published in 2021, following a broad and intensive consultation process carried out in Africa, Asia Pacific, Europe and Middle East, facilitated by GFAR, I would like to draw the attention on a publication released back in 2018 by FAO. It was entitled Future Smart Food, Rediscovering Hidden Treasure of Neglected and Underutilized Species for Zero Hunger in Asia. This publication was building upon the success of the International Year of Quinoa in 2013 and the International Year of Pulses in 2016, and identified a wide range of promising, neglected and underutilized species from 8 Asian countries. With no doubt, the ongoing International Year of Millet will also be a great opportunity to further advocate for the promotion of this forgotten food crop. So I wish you all a very successful event, and I look forward to continue collaborating with all of you on this very important issue. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Guillaume and Pierre. Indeed, this activity proves that the deep knowledge these participants have on their indigenous crops found in their communities. And these are indeed important part of our heritage, and that they need to be passed on to the next generation so the production and consumption of these local crops continue. So the recipes that we've seen featured many indigenous crops that grow in different communities in Asia. So from land, we now go to the water. Right now, my colleagues are on the coastal area to check on our fisher folks.
One distinct character of agricultural production is the presence of peak and lean season.
That is why farmers and fishers have naturally developed ways of preserving crops, like drying, smoking, fermenting, and pickling. Those are on top of the preservation methods.
But in the presence of technology, these traditional processes are slowly being modernized. And some of our recipes deal with preserved fish, meat, shrimp, and even leaves using traditional methods.
To see some examples, let us all watch the forgotten recipes from Bangladesh, India, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Mongolia.
গেরান বাইরে ওই গেরানটা বাইরেলে আমি হুটকি মাছটি দিয়ে দিমু দিয়ে একটু হুটকি মাছটি লাড়াচাড়া দিয়ে একটু বাজ্যালমু অহন আমি একটু মরিচের গুঁড়া হলুদের গুঁড়া দিয়ে হুটকি মাছটা একটু মজাই হেলাইতেছি হালকা একটু পানি দিয়া আমার হুটকি মাছ রানতে একটু সময় লাগবো আমি এখন আর শিমলাই আলুটা ছুললা পল্লা নিতেছি পল্লা ছেঁচে নিমু আমার হুটকি মাছটা কষানি হয়ে গেছে গা ভালো করে গেরান বেরিয়েছে এর লেগে আমি পাতাটা দিয়ে দিলাম
গরম জলে সিদ্ধটা ততক্ষণে হোক তত লঙ্কা তেজপাতা ও পাঁচফোড়ন লাল লাল করে ভাজা হয়ে গেছে গরম আমাদের এখানকার একটু মিষ্টি টাটকা জবি সতেজ জবি ওই জন্য আমি আগে থেকে তুলে রেখে রাখছিলাম পরিমাণ মতো হলুদ আমার 5 মিনিট এখন এটা ঢাকা থাকুক আমি ভাজা গুগলিগুলো আমি দিয়ে দিচ্ছি ঢাকা দিয়ে দিলাম আমার
Đấy, sau đó ta cho hành phi vào, hành khô bào ta cho vào, đảo cho hành thật là thơm lên, hành ngấm. Sau đó là ta cho phần thịt đã xay hạt lựu vào và đảo đều cho thịt ngấm vào hành. Khoảng 30 phút sau là ta cho mắm vào. Mắm chúng ta sẽ cho vào cỡ 3 lần trong một công đoạn để mắm thấm vào từng cái thớ thịt. Vị ngậy, béo nhưng không ngán của thịt lợn nuôi tự nhiên đã làm lên món ăn gây đầy thiêng nhớ này. Phẩm sau khi hoàn thành thì
nêu đều sinh rái nêu đều nề yong cái này cái cầm lúa ni la ban ber no ya cái ka shriu ta haba ni la dep ban thep ya cái ka shriu in sa thep sau ne o so kai hadin bala thanam cái ka ni la ber ya cái ka shriu ya so kai ban ni la ru ban ber ya ne o cái ka shriu bala kham i Nêu ni sulaja yur ngin ot ngin sai chua din bala de sai ngin ot yo ani sa thep
chúng ta sẽ trồng thêm vị trí nào? Thịt và bánh các đã hợp cùng với nhau. Chúng ta sẽ đổ hạt tiêu vào múc ra của thưởng thức. Chúng ta có thể ăn được với rất nhiều các nguyên liệu kèm theo, ví dụ như là
kita persiapkan dulu tungku hemat energi yang menggunakan serbuk gergaji sebagai bahan bakar. Air, lalu rebus kembang pasir hingga layu air dan tiriskan kembang pasir. Bawang putih, garam dan merica diulek hingga halus, lalu dicampur dengan bumbu rata. Menggunakan daun pisang dan tambahkan batang serai, api sedang. 30 menit, angkat dan tiriskan. Rasanya mantap.
Hello again, everyone, and I hope you are enjoying what we have prepared for you so far. Even if we can only see these dishes online, I hope you are still enjoying them, and hopefully in the future we will have an opportunity where we can taste these dishes in reality and really savor all the flavors. But for now, let's be content in viewing the process of preparing and cooking these delicious dishes. And while I was viewing these videos, there were many crops that I was seeing for the first time. I had to search on Google the scientific name and if these crops grow in the Philippines. And I found out that some really grow in the Philippines while others are endemic in other countries. And we're having a little game this afternoon. So it's very easy, just a friendly game, interactive game. So you can also participate. So the mechanics is simple. I will show some pictures of food crops, and what you have to do is write in the chat box the name of this food in your local language. So please write it in the common alphabet that we are using because I will not be able to read it if you write it in your local script. So I repeat, the mechanics is simple. I will show some photos and you just type in the chat box what this crop is called in your local language. So this is just a friendly game and we urge all of you to participate. Okay, so for our first photo, so what is this called in your local language? I will read your answers. So first answer, talong. I saw talong, it's Philippines. O baingan, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, from Pakistan. And yeah, tarong. Yes, I recognize this word also. It's another language in the Philippines. Begun, in Bangladesh, they call it begun. Terong in Indonesia, similar to how we call it in the Philippines. Cash in Mongolia. Indonesia also cash in Mongolia. I'm sorry, I cannot read. Baingan, bagun. Oh yeah, thank you for sharing your answers. Bianta in Nepali and Wambotu from Sri Lanka. So thank you. So for our next food crop, this is tomato in English. What do you call this in your local language? Please answer in the chat box. Tomato, tomat. Tomat in Indonesia, kamatis, Philippines. Tomato in Bangladesh. Tomato in Pakistan. Oh, it's similar to tomato. Tomato, tomat, tomatar, tomat, almost the same words. Tomat, Indonesia. Takali in Sri Lanka. That's a little different. Also, ulan, luli in Mongolia. Kachua in Vietnam. Wow. Nice to learn about these things. Pagan, also, they call it pagan in Pakistan. Tomato. Baybado in Nepali. Maklen, they call it maklen in Laos. Thank you everyone. And how about this one? How do you call this in your local language? This is cabbage in English. O kol in Indonesia, repolyo in the Philippines, bada kopi for Bangladesh, kubis in Indonesia, engkol, they also call it engkol, and ban gobi in Pakistani language, they call it ban gobi, baicha for Mongolia, repolyo, this is Philippines, bandagovi for Nepali, kubis, also Indonesia, bada kopi for Bangladesh, and for Laos, Noy says this is pronounced as kalam. So thank you, Noy, for sharing that also in local script and how you pronounce it. Chai bap in Vietnamese. How about this one? This is sweet potato in English. We call it sweet potato. Chipir in Indonesia. Kamote, Philippines. Misti alu in Bangladesh. And chakandar for Pakistan. Yeah, they also call it lobak in Indonesia. And batala in Sri Lanka. What more? Amtatums for Mongolia. Ubi, also they call it ubi in Indonesia. Khoai lang for Vietnamese. And Sakarkanda in Nepali. They call it Sakarkanda. Yeah, I am aware that we don't have single language in each country, so it's okay. You can share the name of this in your language, in your mother tongue. Mundarng in Laos. Rangalu also in India, they call it Rangalu. How about this? Do you have this also in your country? And what do you call this in your local language? Chipir for Indonesia. They are fast in answering. They also call it jaat. Sigidillas. Yeah, from another language in the Philippines. Oh, yeah. Prakash says they don't have this in Nepal. Sigarilyas in Philippines also, and dambala in Sri Lanka. Yeah, not available in Bangladesh. Also, they said it. Chat box chipir. How about this? What do you call this? Lemongrass. This is lemongrass. Tanglad. Yeah, in Tagalog, this is tanglad. Sere in Indonesia. Serai or Sere or Serai. Perhaps those are two different languages in Indonesia. Lemongrass also. Kamijoro, says Novianto from Jamtani. Salay in Laguna, says Miss Bernie. So they also don't have it in Mongolia. And for Lao, they call it Huay Sikai. So this is, yeah, I found this crop in many of the recipes in the Forgotten Foods cooking contest. How about this one? This is pumpkin or squash. What do you call this in your local language? Labu, Indonesia. Kalabasa. Karubasa, both Philippines. Walu. Parshi in Nepali. Wataka in Sri Lanka. Farshi in Nepali. Kulu in Mongolia. And Misti Kumra for Bangladesh. Kabali or Farsi in Nepal. Also Kaddu for Pakistan. And one in Balti, also another Pakistan language. And for Lao, Mak'u. And for India, they also call it Kumra or Kodu, Misti Kumra. So similar India and Bangladesh, they call it Kumra. Wait, how about this one? This is string beans. This is a variety of beans. Sitaw in the Philippines, yeah. Hantak, also another language in the Philippines. Borboti for Bangladesh. Bodi for Nepal. Kacang lanjaran for Indonesia. Bodi, Nepal. Yeah, kacang panjang for Indonesia. And kacang panjang. Borboti for India, they call it borboti. For in Sri Lanka, they call it mekaral. In the Philippines, they also call it hantak. And borboti in Bangladesh. Lanjaran, local in Javanese. And maktuwa for Lao. Thank you. How about this? Do you have this also in your country? And what do you call it in your local language? Welok for Indonesia. Sayote, Philippines, and Walushem, also they call it Indonesia, Walushem. Chow chow, it's interesting. They call it chow chow in Sri Lanka. Labu siam for Indonesia, they also call it that, Walusina. Munda, they call it Munda in Bangladesh, and Iskus in Nepal. How about this? This is taro in English. It's kochu in Bangladesh, and taleyus in Indonesia, gabi in the Philippines, kiri ala in Sri Lanka. They also call it gawai in the Philippines, and pidalu for the Nepali, arvi in Pakistan, and fiwak for Lao. Banten, they also call it banten in Indonesia, or talas or bote. In Vietnam, kwaiso, I saw this in one of the recipes they submitted. Kochu in India and pidalu in Nepali. How about this? This is jackfruit. Do you also have this in your country? Tewel in Japanese, o ganyong in nangka in Indonesia. We also call it nangka in my local language, in my mother tongue. Tewel Indonesia, katar in Nepal, katahar, nangka, katal in India. Yes, langka in Tagalog. This is langka in Tagalog. Kos for Sri Lanka. And katal, and it's the national fruit of Bangladesh. That's why you have a lot of these trees growing in your country. Katal, katay, nangka, katal, makme for Lao, makme, nangka. And how about this? This is a popular vegetable, perhaps not enjoyed by everyone because of its taste. This is bitter gourd. pare for, or paria for Indonesia, varia, they also call it varia, pare for Indonesia. Or they call it marigoso from where Abigail is, Karawila in Sri Lanka, and Karela, Corona. Oh, it's almost the same for our South Asian friends here. Sri Lanka, it's called Karawila. In Nepal, it's called Karela. And in Bangladesh, it's called Corolla. And Kareal in Pakistan. And Philippines, Ampalaya. Yes. Karela in Pakistan also. Mala or Lao. I think this is the last. Yeah, so do you have this also? This is turnip or hikama. Or do you have this? Bangkwang in local in the Javanese. Kesor alu for Bangladesh. They call it kesor alu, and bengkwang also, they call it that way in Indonesia. Huhiris also in Indonesia, and salgam for Nepal. Singkamas, we call it singkamas in the Philippines. Mulu in Balti for Pakistan, and rabu, they call it rabu in Sri Lanka. And munpao for Lao. Yeah, that's the last. And I hope you enjoyed and also learned something. It's very interesting. Some of the words are almost the same, sounds the same, while some are very different. And I do hope that you also learned lesson, because I enjoyed seeing all the recipes and searching about the ingredients that I saw in your recipes. So right now, yeah, we invited one of our partners to say a message. Unfortunately, she cannot join us now because she fell sick. So I will just read her message. She's Miss Katja Vuri from AgriCord. She's supposed also to give a message, but she could not join us. And I would just like to give her message to our participants. So she would like to congratulate all the winners and thank all of the participants for their wonderful recipes. And she said, amazing variety of ingredients and cooking skills, which make me jealous. Women have such big impact on the nutritional status of their families. It is important to encourage good home cooking and to ensure that traditional dishes and ingredients are passed on to the next generations. As food is also such an important part of the culture, not just nourishment for the body. Women play a key role in this chain of generations, transferring the knowledge and culture within their families and households. These types of crops traditionally cultivated also make the local food systems more resilient by increasing the diversity of the produce and making sure that the younger generations also know how to use the wild edible plants to bring a variety to our diets is also very important. Again, she congratulates all the participants. And we also would like to thank Katja for always supporting our activities. And we do wish her a speedy recovery. And now let's go to the next part of our program. Bernie and Junie, please take the stage.
Thank you, Irish, for that game. Not only were we entertained, but we also learned a lot from that quiz.
Wow, that was tough, Bernie. How many crops were you able to identify?
Forget about it. I have forgotten all. But anyway, we have a special guest, and it is an honor to introduce to you the new task manager of IFAD, Mr. Jerry Pakturan.
Good afternoon to all the participants and the attendees to this awarding program of the Forgotten Foods Cooking Contest. Also, my warm greetings to colleagues in AFA and all the other institutions and organizations that have supported this event. It is a pleasure for me to be part of this event, and it was a very interesting experience for me to be part of the event and as one of the members of the panel of judges. Indeed, I enjoyed. It was very interesting, in fact, to see some 12 entries that were given to me and to the rest of the members of the panel of judges to rate and to put in our thoughts of on various criteria that were used. So at the end of the day, a cooking contest or any contest like this will have winners and those that may not get the award. But regardless whether there were those who may not get the award, for me, all the 12 entries, all the 12 participants are already by themselves awardees, because we have seen, in fact, the very tedious presentation and preparation that you have made and showed to us the various types of food in your own countries that indeed are worth reviving and worth sharing again with the rest of the communities, because they are nutritious food. They are food that in the long run are the ones that will really also support our communities, because the ingredients that are being used are from the farmers themselves, from the women farmers themselves. So once again, congratulations to all, and thanks AFA for having me as part of this contest. Maraming salamat, magandang hapon. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you, Sir Jing. It's good to know that you enjoyed taking part in this activity as one of the judges. So that means that we can invite you again next time for our future activities. And we really agree with you that even though we cannot give our cash prize to all of the 28 participants, we actually received 28 participants, total of 28 participants for this contest. And although we cannot give all of them prizes, they are already winners on their own right, just for taking part in this activity, for advocating forgotten foods. And you really all contributed to our objective to raise awareness and promote the production and consumption of forgotten foods. And of course, we appreciate all the efforts that went into making the videos, as Sir Jing also mentioned. So dear friends, are you already hungry? Are the videos making you hungry like me? And you should go grab some snack, go grab some tea or coffee while you are watching. Yeah, my colleagues, because my colleagues are now ready to try a spread of native Filipino snacks.
Wow, look at these nuts. These are some of my favorites. These items here, these are my favorite local foods. How about you? What's your pick? What's your pick?
This is my favorite one.
Wow.
I remember this one. This is from the northern part of the Philippines.
Oh, yes,
And,
yes.
That,
one of my
I'm so
favorites.
excited to try that. I haven't tried that.
Whoa!
Now it's your
This was
time.
also one of our favorites. Sometimes we eat it during breakfast with hot chocolate.
Or coffee.
Yes.
Or even mango.
Yes.
Mango.
Mango and rice cake.
Yes.
Perfect.
Sometimes we dip this in cocoa sugar, and then it's very delicious. Very delicious.
Wow. Okay. Shall we try one?
Yeah.
But I wonder what snacks do they have in different parts of the world? Like what do they have for snack in, let's say, Bangladesh, India, Nepal?
Mongolia.
Yeah.
Mongolia, I think they have very interesting snacks there.
Yeah. How about
Vietnam?
Southeast Asia?
Yeah, I think
Vietnam.
Vietnam as well.
Laos.
Wow. Indonesia, Cambodia. I'm so excited to see those snack items. Let's watch.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. But let's eat
But
first.
let's eat. Come and get it.
සකස් කරගත්ත පිටි මිශ්‍රණය මේකෙන් තමයි අපි කීරොටිය හදන්නේ. දැන් අපි මේ කිරිරොටි හදන්න කලින් අපි ඒක දැන් සකස් කරමු. ඒ සඳහා අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා තේ හැඳි 2යි. ඉන් පස්සේ ඒ සකස් කරගත් කිරි රොටිය පැණි මිශ්‍රණයට දමන්න.
কড়াইতে দিয়ে উনুনে বসিয়ে 5 মিনিট
बकव्हीट आटा जो होते हैं वो शुगर, ब्लड प्रेशर और कोलेस्ट्रॉल उनके लिए वो फ्री है। तो ये इलाज भी है। ये आटा बहुत लोग अच्छा जी पहले आटा गूना है, अभी इसका डिज़ाइन बना रहे हैं, फिर इसका चटनी तैयार करेगा। ये अखरोट की चटनी में बनते हैं, उसमें अखरोट, प्याज, हरी मिर्च, धनिया, पुदीना, अदरक, लहसुन वो डाल के पीसते हैं, फिर पानी उबालते हैं, फिर उबाल के फिर इसको नॉर्मल फूट गई। तो अभी इसमें ये एप्रिकॉट ऑयल है, तो इस पे मक्खन भी डाल के खा सकते हैं, एप्रिकॉट ऑयल भी। तो मैं अपने थोड़ा सा घर का बनाया हुआ है चटनी
আগে থেকে ছাড়িয়ে বেটে আমি রেখে দিয়েছি। এখন আমি কড়াই দিয়ে দিলাম অল্প পরিমাণ মতো তেল। এই বড়াতে বেশি পরিমাণ তেল লাগে না, বেশি তেল দিলে এটা ফাটা ফাটা ভাব হয়ে যায়। এটা আমি পোস্ত বাটার মতো লাগবে খেতে কাঁচাতে, আর ভেজে খেলে পোস্ত বড়ার মতো লাগবে। গরম গরম ভাতে খুব ভালো লাগবে। এটা খুব অল্প আঁচে করতে হয়, এটা অল্প তেলে করলে বড়াটা গোটা গোল থাকে। এই দেখুন বন্ধুরা, পোস্ত বড়ার মতো দেখতে হয়েছে।
Khoai sọ chúng ta rửa sạch, sau đó luộc sơ cho dễ bóc vỏ, bổ phấn vào, góp đều để rửa sạch bằng nước. Để cái này thì khoai sọ nó có cái thì chúng ta cũng chặt thành từng miếng vừa ăn và bóp muối, đun sôi, chúng ta đổ vừa ăn và bỏ hết hành khô và gừng. Các bạn lưu ý là đun sôi khoảng 5 phút thì cho hành lá. Thì sau khi khoai sọ đã bóc vỏ và rửa sạch, chúng ta luộc chín nhừ, đảo đều với trứng gà và viên thành viên nhỏ vừa ăn. Món khoai sọ luộc thì sau khi khoai sọ đã rửa sạch, nhỏ lửa, đun khoảng 15 phút thì vớt ra. Các bạn cũng lưu ý tùy từng loại, có thể các bạn lựa hoặc là nếu như các bạn chọn những củ khoai to thì chúng ta phải có cái thời gian đun dài hơn nữa. Xin trân trọng cảm ơn.
Này báo vô tao coconut milk. Chegou ni ko e mei Ai mới gila to.
Transfer it into another bowl and put that into the freezer. So you can use either the Nishi Foods frozen breadfruit wedges, cinnamon batter, coat it in fresh grated coconut. Eating locally grown food is not only good for your health, but also a great way to support our local farmers.
Караргар күйсіне бітөткен өйдірдік. Моңғыден удымжыз заң өйдодылдық. Ен дамжызғыды. Ен арва тәрәні күйіскі чәмірді әгенеге. Үссің арваг. Жаңа сеп чәвірсін тәраға ұдасқы шатасын тоған дәрі қуырна. Қуырсығыдықсын тарықты сады дедіксінде көргені. Чуботқа соғына сепсін тараға терімді бұрып кейкі өйдәжіға өтчена. Мане әрсін тұлымын ұрда кейна. Чанат, чан жолықсы ғанни сөйден ұрдындан үнгіш құтқат.
બાજરીના બિસ્કિટ ને બ્રેડ અમે બનાવીએ તો એના ઉપરથી બધાને ખબર બી પડે કે ભાઈ બાજરીના બિસ્કિટ બી બનશે બાજરીના બ્રેડ બી બનશે.
The Sepang is one among the most marginalized and minority community mostly found in the Bagmati province of Nepal. They depend on the forest to earn their livelihood and income. Though they are landless, their lives and rich cultures closely associated with the natural resources. The tradition of providing the butter tree called churi tree in Nepali is a marriage gift to the daughter when she gets married shows how they are culturally attached to the forests. It is used for fruits, wood, leaf and seeds. They produce maize, finger millet and buckwheat. Women also engage in collecting foods, fruits, medical herbs and vegetables that includes aerial yam, fiddlehead green and stinging nettle and
Yeah, all these recipes really show the diverse, rich food culture of Asia and the Pacific. And we'd like to thank all our partner farmers organizations who sent their entries. Thank you for sharing your recipes. And after seeing all those videos, somehow it made me feel that I was able to get to know more of your culture. And we are about to enter the more exciting part of our program, which is the awarding. But let me just briefly share our criteria. So for this contest, we received a total of 28 entries. We conducted the preliminary judging to choose the best among all those entries based on the mechanics and set criteria. For example, this contest was only open for women farmer members of farmers organizations under the APFP, FO4A, and ARISE programs. So while we received entries from male participants, as we show in some of the videos, unfortunately, those videos were not included in the selection process. And but still, we are promoting them as part of the Forgotten Foods, for our advocacy for Forgotten Foods. And we also stated in the mechanics how the video should be structured. So we also use that in the pre-selection. Aside from this, our panel of judges based their score on this criteria. So first is the originality and creativity of the recipe. So we asked for a recipe that must be from the participants' locality. It should be a traditional cuisine from her culture. And they can use this, they can follow this traditional recipe, or they can also innovate or tweak this recipe to include more ingredients or new steps. So that's one of our criteria. Another is food presentation. So this is the plating, the design, or arranging of decorating the food to enhance its aesthetic appeal. So I am sure many of you are familiar with the term Instagrammable. So which has been important in this digital age if we want to promote something, including food. And our goal is to promote forgotten foods. So through these recipes. So we gave points also to how you presented your recipe. And another is the ease of preparation or cooking. So this is how we looked at how convenient is the preparation or the cooking process for your recipe. And lastly, we also have nutritional value. This is very important criterion. So we wanted to see if your dish is nutritionally well balanced, and to get legitimate results, we sought the help of a nutritionist dietitian who evaluated all the entries. And we also have an award for the most popular video on social media, again, because we wanted to reach more people, to engage more people. That's why we asked you to share your entries on social media, make them viral, so we will reach more audience. And there will be one winner. The one with the highest views and likes on YouTube will win social media award, and she will take home $100 US, and we'll have the second runner-up will receive $200, while the first runner-up will receive $300, and the grand winner will receive $500. And these prizes will be used to fund the winner's farm or agribusiness plan. They will also receive coaching from our business development officers to help them craft their farm or agribusiness plans, where they will use their cash prize. And this on your screen, you can see our panel of judges. So these are the people who helped us determine the best of the best entries. These are the people who helped us choose the winners. Let me just introduce them one by one. First, this is Ms. Katja Vori, as I mentioned already earlier. Ms. Katja is the program director of AgriCord, and AgriCord is AFA and LBC's complementer of the FO4A program. And AgriCord has been our ally in supporting smallholder farmers in different parts of the world. Next is, this is our nutritionist dietitian, Ms. Matel Borse. So she is a registered nutritionist dietitian who has worked as a restaurant manager for 10 years. And she also took up Masters of Science in Applied Nutrition from the University of the Philippines. And as I mentioned, Ms. Borse helped us determine the nutritional value of the entries. And it was a painstaking process, and we really appreciate her generous support in this activity. Another judge, one of our panel of judges, is Mr. Guillaume Barreau. He already, you heard his message earlier, Mr. Barrow is an expert in the management of international development programs with extensive experience in Asia, Africa, Europe, including 20 years for the European Commission, with a focus on sector policy reforms, including food security, agriculture policies, and nutrition through budget support. Mr. Barrow is currently based in Indonesia. He's one of the EU delegations to ASEAN, and he is also the EU focal point on food and nutrition. Mr. Jerry Pakturan, or Jing, Sir Jing, joined the International Fund for Agricultural Development, or IFAD, in 2016 as the country program officer covering the Philippines and Myanmar portfolios. And in 2022, he was appointed as the IFAD country director for Afghanistan with special tasks supporting the IFAD Indonesia portfolio. And in 2023, he was appointed as the IFAD grant manager for APFP FO4A, and also he's the IFAD FAFO regional focal person for the Asia Pacific region. And our last judge is Mr. Pierre Ferrand. So he is an agronomist specializing in tropical agronomy and rural development with more than 13 years of experience in implementing food and livelihood security projects in Southeast Asia. Mr. Ferrand is an agricultural officer for the Food and Agriculture Organization, or FAO. We thank our panel of judges. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to watch the videos and give proper merits to each of the participants. And as Guillaume said earlier, it's too bad we cannot taste the recipes in person, but hopefully in the future, we can finally invite you over a real meal of all these recipes that we saw on videos. And thank you again. And now back to my colleagues for the awarding.
We enjoyed watching those videos featuring native delicacies and forgotten food. But now it's time to announce which recipes stood out.
Yes, after all, this is a contest. But we do appreciate everyone who participated.
Thank you for your efforts and support to this activity.
We acknowledge all of you. So here are our special awards. popular video based on social media votes.
And now, the second runner-up goes to
And for our first runner-up,
And now for the grand winner. Envelope, please. Thank you. And now our grand winner is congratulations. And now let us hear from our winner.
আমার খুব ভালো লাগছে আমাদের অঞ্চলে হারিয়ে যাওয়া খাবারগুলো এক প্রতিযোগিতার মাধ্যমে আমরা অন্য ভিডিওটি দেশে বিদেশে ছড়িয়ে দিতে পেরেছি। অনেক মানুষ আমার রান্নার ভিডিও দেখেছে। আমার ইচ্ছা আছে যদি সহায়তা পরামর্শ পাই তাহলে আমাদের গ্রামের মহিলাদের নিয়ে পুষ্টিগুণ সমৃদ্ধ নিরাপদ খাবার নিয়ে আমি যেন এই রান্নায় ব্যবসা করতে পারি। গাউস ও কুস্ট ফাউন্ডেশনকে আমি ধন্যবাদ জানাই আমাকে সুযোগ করে দেওয়ার জন্য। সবার বাংলাদেশের আমার গরিব বাড়িতে আপনাদের সবার দাওয়াত রইল। আপনারা আসলে বাংলাদেশি মজার রান্না করে আপনাদের খাওয়াবো।
Tôi là Vũ Thị Ban, đại diện nhóm nông dân thực hiện món ăn dê núi trên giềng tại xã Ninh Xuân, huyện Hoa Lư, tỉnh Ninh Bình. Chúng tôi rất vinh dự khi được đại diện cho Hội Nông dân huyện Hoa Lư, tỉnh Ninh Bình tham gia cuộc thi nấu ăn của các hội viên nông dân do Hội Nông dân châu Á, Hội Nông dân Việt Nam phát động. Món dê núi trên giềng được nhóm lựa chọn chế biến nhằm giới thiệu món ăn đặc sản của tỉnh Ninh Bình với những nguyên liệu đặc trưng có sẵn tại địa phương, giàu giá trị dinh dưỡng. Chúng tôi rất bất ngờ và vui mừng khi biết tin món dê núi trên giềng đã đạt giải nhì cuộc thi. Đặc biệt vừa qua, tôi đại diện cho nhóm tham gia buổi trao giải thưởng qua hình thức online do Hội Nông dân châu Á tổ chức. Tôi được học hỏi thêm nhiều món ăn đặc trưng của các nước khác trong khu vực. Thay mặt nhóm nông dân đạt giải nhì với món dê núi trên giềng, tôi xin trân trọng cảm ơn Hội Nông dân châu Á, Hội Nông dân Việt Nam, Hội Nông dân tỉnh Ninh Bình đã phát động và triển khai cuộc thi rất ý nghĩa này, tạo cơ hội cho Hội Nông dân Ninh Bình được giao lưu, học hỏi, chia sẻ ẩm thực địa phương, góp phần bảo tồn giống cây trồng bản địa và đảm bảo an ninh lương thực vì một nền nông nghiệp bền vững. Chúng tôi hy vọng sẽ có nhiều cuộc thi như thế này để nông dân được tham gia. Xin trân trọng cảm ơn.
আমার খুব ভালো লাগছে যে আমার অঞ্চলের হারিয়ে যাওয়া খাবারগুলো এই প্রতিযোগিতার মাধ্যমে সারা বিশ্বে ছড়িয়ে দিতে পেরেছি। এই প্রতিযোগিতার যারা আয়োজন করেছে তাদেরকে ধন্যবাদ জানাতে চাই। গাউস ও কোস্ট ফাউন্ডেশনকে ধন্যবাদ জানাই আমাকে এই অংশগ্রহণ করার সুযোগ দেওয়ার জন্য। দোয়া করবেন আল্লাহ পাকের রহমতে আমি যেন গ্রামের অসহায় নারীদেরকে নিয়ে আমি যেন একটা ভালো ব্যবসার আয়োজন করতে পারি। আপনাদের সবাইকে বাংলাদেশে দাওয়াত রইল। আপনারা সবাই বাংলাদেশে আসলে আপনাদের সবাইকে অনেক মজার বাংলাদেশি রান্না করে খাওয়াবো।
We're almost at the end of the show. Now, let us welcome the Secretary General of AFA, Esther Penuña, for the closing remarks.
Hi, hello, good afternoon to everyone. I'm sure that you have enjoyed this event, the awarding of the cooking contest for Forgotten Foods by women farmers, and I am sure that you have been inspired by all the recipes that have been shared here, and you will be inspired to try these recipes, especially if the ingredients are sourced in your farms or in your communities locally. Forgotten Foods is really not forgotten by women farmers, and this cooking contest, the entries that you have submitted is proof that farmers have not forgotten these foods. We call it usually traditional local foods, and these are very important. Why? Because they are source of health, nutrition for our families, and usually they are resistant to droughts as well as to floods. And they do not require much inputs because they can grow organically. So actually, in the global community, we are thinking, can we feed 10 billion people in 2050? And the only answer is we should be able to feed these people. And one major response to food security, especially now that we have climate change, we go back to diversifying our food sources. And diversifying our food sources means going back to planting, propagating, and promoting these local traditional food crops like what our contestants have shared today. So we congratulate the winners, and we also congratulate the contestants because you are able to show that there is locally sourced food in your community. You are preparing them, you are making your children healthy, and you are able to inspire others like us to do the same for our children. So thank you, friends, partners, colleagues, for attending this event, for joining our contestants, and for clapping for our winners. We hope that you will enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope that we will continue to work together so that we could promote traditional local food crops and that we could support our women farmers in promoting these crops, in innovating so that we could have more production and be able to process these crops so that we could reach to more people beyond their farming community. Bye-bye!
Thank you, Miss Esther. And as she mentioned, if any of you were inspired,
we have come to the end of our program.
Thank you very much for sharing.
Recipes are available at our website, asiapacificfarmersforum.net, and also on our YouTube channel. I will share the link in a while in the chat box. So if you want to try the recipes you saw on video, and you can find the ingredients in your locality, so why not give it a try? And anyway, the instructions are there in our website, so you are free to use them. And now back to my colleagues, Bernie, Leo, and John.
We have come to the end of our program.
Thank you very much for sharing your precious time with us.
We will now invite everyone to turn on their video and in your local language, shout, Happy Women's Day!
So all together now, kindly turn on your mic and in your local language say, Happy Women's Day!
का दिन मुबारक। Bye bye everyone.